This lesson is going to take a look at how to build a simple chord melody on the tune Aura-Lee, or perhaps better known to most of us as Love Me Tender, the classic Elvis tune. It's a great song to start looking at this style of playing, as the chords are big open chords, and it has a simple melody that sits beautifully on top of those chords, both musically and in our fingers. So the first thing to do when taking a look at a song like this is just to go through the chord progression. Love Me Tender has a 16-bar form, where bars 1 through 4 repeat themselves in bars 5 through 8, and then at measure 9 it takes a little bit of a different turn. So the first 4 bars start with 4 beats of C major, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, G major, 2, 3, 4, and back to C, 2, 3, 4. Bars 5 through 8 are exactly the same. C major, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and back to C, 2, 3, 4. At measure 9, things pick up a little bit. We have 2 beats of C major, 2 beats of E7, 2 beats of A minor, 2 beats of C7, to F major, F minor, and back to a full bar of C. 2, 3, 4. In the last 4 measures, we start with 2 beats of C major, 2 beats of A7, and then D minor, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and finally back to C. 2, 3, 4. If you'd like to go through those chords a little on your own, please stop the video here and check out the chord chart and go through the progression a few times. And then we'll take a look at how to put the melody on top of that. Okay, now we're ready to add the melody on top of these chords. We're going to start with our C chord, and the melody on top of that chord goes from a G to a C to a B and back to a C. So we're going to strum from our low C, the 3rd fret on our A string, up to our open G string. That's our first melody note. And then with our first finger we can play C, open B, and then to C. Over the D minor chord we have D, A, D in the melody. So we don't really have to worry about our first finger on that note F. That's the note that gives the chord its minor quality, but it's not in our melody. So we're going to play from our open D to the D on the 3rd fret on our B string. D, down to A, and back to D. For our G chord, the melody goes C, B, A, B, C. And in order to finger that, we have to switch our fingering around a little bit. Instead of using our 2nd and 1st finger down here, we're going to use our 3rd and 2nd finger. Almost like we're playing a G7 chord, but instead of our first finger going on F, it's going to come down and go right on the C on our B string. We're going to strum from our low G all the way up to that C. Open B, A, B, and then as we land on our C chord again, we're going to strum just up to the note C, our 1st fret on our B string. That's our final melody note for that line. Again, bars 5 through 8 repeat this melody, so here's it, the whole thing in its entirety. As we go to measure 9, things pick up a little bit. Most of the melody at this line is just a high E, so what we really have to worry about is making sure that our fingers are off that high E string and that the note can ring out clearly. We're going to start with a C chord, and it's going to go right up to that high E, and play the E again. An E7 chord, where it does the same thing, A minor, C7, and it just rings. Now we go to our F major chord, and the melody over this F major chord goes E, D. So instead of barring with our first finger, we're going to leave our high E string open. So in effect, it's an F major 7 chord. We go from our F on our D string to that high E, and then with our 4th finger, play D. Over the F minor chord, the melody goes from a C to a D. So we're going to bar with our first finger, first fret on our G and B strings, and with our fourth finger hit D again. And then we're going to end on a C that goes all the way up to our high E string. For our final line, we start with a C major chord. Again, we're playing high E in the melody. And over our A7 chord, we have the notes F and then E. So we're going to play an A7 like this, and with our first finger play F, down to E, and then our D chord has the DAD again. Back to our G chord, which we're going to finger again with our third and second finger. And our melody here is going to go C, B, E, D. So we play up to the C with our first finger, open B, high E, D with our fourth finger, and we end the whole piece on a C, only up to the note C on our B string. So, here's the whole tune. Hope you have fun with it, and good luck!